Max Nation? I'm Unger to the Max coming at you with today's episode of Talking UFC and Wrestling. Don't worry, the Sports Room Talk Show isn't going away. I might even post some episodes of the Sports Room Talk Show later today. But for right now, I'm giving you an episode of Talking UFC and Wrestling. And in this video, I want to talk about my favorite wrestler in AEW, Absolute Ricky Starks. Why is he my favorite? Well, because when you watch him, he just thinks he's a badass. I love his charisma, and his style of wrestling is awesome. At times, he can be very calculated in what he's doing in the ring. But at other times, he can just rev it up to 100 miles per hour and just go bonkers. And it's fantastic. And also, his personality is awesome. It's great. I didn't become this big of a Ricky Starks fan until he started feuding with Powerhouse Hobbs, where he was allowed to be a singles competitor. And although their match at All Out was absolute dog shit, because it made the feud feel pointless. Like, Ricky Starks got in there and just got thrown around and beaten up. So that was pointless. But now I feel like Ricky should be the one that takes down MJF and becomes the new AEW World Champion at Full Gear. Which Full Gear should happen here at Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse in downtown Cleveland. Until they actually announce the location of Full Gear, I'm going to continue to say that. Full Gear should happen right here in downtown Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse. But let me take you through this. Okay, so up to this point during MJF's title reign, I think Ricky Starks has been the best one at holding his own on the microphone in terms of promo battles with MJF. Now, we need to see how this Adam Cole feud plays out, which I'll get to the Adam Cole MJF stuff a little later, because I do have some thoughts on that. But you could just tell that Ricky was really connecting with the fans. Now, that might have been because winter is coming, some of the shows leading up to that were in Texas, in the area where Ricky is from. But you could just feel it on the TV, like how much passion and how much charisma and spunk Ricky has. And I'm just like, oh, this guy's good. And after the mini program with MJF, he goes into this feud with Chris Jericho, which Jericho's another one of my favorite wrestlers. So I had been waiting for Chris Jericho and Ricky Starks to feud. And the feud was good, but it wasn't great like I wanted. And there's one specific reason for that. The stupid Jericho Appreciation Society. There is no need for the Jericho Appreciation Society anymore. It's pointless. For me, it took away from the feud between Jericho and Ricky Starks. Because you had, like, the JAS slamming Ricky through tables and people dressing up in masks and attacking Ricky. And I'm just like, no, that's not what I want this feud to be. But regardless, Ricky went on to beat Jericho not once, but twice, including beating Jericho in the opening match of Revolution. So after that, I'm like, okay, they're building Ricky Starks up, and they're going to revisit the feud between him and MJF at Full Gear, and Ricky's going to be the one to take the title off of MJF, which again, Full Gear should happen here in Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse. Again, I'm not going to stop saying it until they actually announce where Full Gear is happening. But then, the Dynamite after Revolution, Ricky is cutting a promo, and he gets jumped by Muppet Jesus, as I'll call him, Juice Robinson. And ever since then, Ricky has been feuding with Juice Robinson and Jay White. I don't know why this feud is happening. They've never explained it. It's pointless. And it's frustrating because like I said, I want Ricky to continue this climb up the ladder so that he's the one that takes down MJF. But he's stuck in this pointless feud. On top of that, Jay White has beaten him not once, but twice. But here's the thing. Neither win by Jay White has been clean. Back on Dynamite in Austin, Texas, leading up to Double or Nothing, Jay White won because Ricky Starks took a steel chair and slammed it over Jay White's back. And I thought, okay, that's going to lead to them having a rematch at Double or Nothing. And in my opinion, that match should have been a steel chairs match, or just call it a chairs match. Why? One, because again, the match in Austin, Texas ended with Ricky Starks slamming Jay White in the back with a steel chair. Number two, Shawn Spears has been involved in this feud at least a little bit. And what's his nickname? The Chairman. So they could have tied that in. But nope, we didn't get the match at Double or Nothing. Instead, Ricky Starks, Juice Robinson, and Jay White were all involved in this 21-man battle royal for Orange Cassidy's International Championship. Which, to go off on that for a second, I'm sorry, but it was the wrong decision to have Orange Cassidy retain the championship at that battle royal. If it were up to me, I would have given it to either Swerve Strickland, Jay White, or Ricky Starks. Personally, I would have given it to Ricky. But that's because I'm a huge fan of Ricky's. But Orange Cassidy retained, and then last week on Dynamite, Cassidy faces Swerve Strickland in a one-on-one match, and guess what? Orange Cassidy retained. Bad booking by Tony Khan. But again, that's nothing new. Swerve Strickland should have won the title last week. But that's a different discussion for a different day. Getting back to this whole thing. In their second match, which happened in the main event of Dynamite last week, Juice Robinson was banned from ringside, and so was FTR. Because FTR has actually gotten involved in this feud. After their tag team title match at Double or Nothing against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, which that match was terrible and pointless, we cut to a backstage segment where Ricky Starks is cutting a promo, but he gets beaten up by Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, and Muppet Jesus, Juice Robinson, before FTR comes in and runs off Jay White and Juice Robinson. So, yeah, they've gotten involved in this feud. Hence why FTR and Juice Robinson were banned last week. So, Ricky goes to hit the Rochambeau onto Jay White, and the referee gets knocked out. And that allows for the Gun Club to get involved and beat up Ricky Starks. So I guess the Gun Club is aligning themselves with Bullet Club Gold, which kind of makes sense because FTR took the titles from the Gun Club, and now who's kind of having issues? It's Bullet Club Gold and FTR. I think that's actually going to be the tag team title match at the London show, All In, which, if that's the match we're doing, it's going to be fantastic. But I'm just like, Tony Khan, what are we doing with Ricky Starks? It seemed like he was on this upward trajectory where he was going to climb the ladder and get back to facing MJF at Full Gear, which should happen here in Cleveland, and Ricky would get the win. But again, he's stuck in this pointless feud with Jay White and Juice Robinson. I don't get it. Ricky Starks should have beaten Jay White twice already. Twice. And yet, that hasn't happened. And as a Ricky Starks fan, it's frustrating. But now I want to get to this whole Adam Cole MJF stuff. Because that's clearly the feud we're going to do leading to the Wembley Stadium show, All In, on August 27th in London. So this week on Dynamite, as in 2 days from now, we are doing a world title eliminator match. MJF versus Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole is going to win this match, but I'm not sure how he's going to win. Because I don't think you want MJF getting pinned clean for the 1, 2, 3 until he actually drops the title. Whether that's to Ricky Starks or, please don't let this happen, but it has to be mentioned, CM Punk, because CM Punk is back. He's returning at all AEW Collision on Saturday in a trios match. He's teaming up with FTR against Bullet Club Gold and Samoa Joe. So, as much as I don't like him, yep, he's back. Whoop-de-frickin-do. But anyway, getting back to this whole Adam Cole versus MJF thing. Yes, like I said, I think Adam Cole is going to win in order to set up the feud. But, again, I don't think MJF should be getting pinned 1, 2, 3 clean. But you also don't want MJF getting submitted. But then again, I don't know what submission Adam Cole would use, because I don't know any of Adam Cole's submissions. His finisher is generally the boom. So, I don't know how else to do it. Maybe you do some type of disqualification or something. But, yeah, MJF should not be getting pinned for the clean for the 1, 2, 3. Not until he drops the title to either Ricky Starks, CM Punk, or I don't know who else he could drop the title to. Those are the two names that come to mind. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Ricky Starks and the whole MJF versus Adam Cole thing. I'm trying to think. Maybe you could have Kyle O'Reilly come out and do something to cause the disqualification. Maybe that could work. You could have MJF cheat to cause the DQ. Something like that. But it's gotta be a DQ, right? I don't think they would use a 10 count. So, yeah. Adam Cole's going to win. I'm just not sure how to do it. But I don't think it's going to be a clean finish. I'll say it like that. But that's going to do it for this episode of Talking UFC and Wrestling. If you liked what you heard and you liked what you saw, make sure you punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter. Hit the like button with the Judas Effect, courtesy of Chris Jericho. And deliver a curb stomp to the notification bell, courtesy of Seth freaking Rollins. Until next time, I'm Unger to the Max, and I will see you later.